New season of RLCS, a new season of Just Saying. Welcome to season 3. And I hope you like what we've done with the place. I got a shout out very quickly at the beginning, Black Fang, who helped me with a lot of the design, and Kangaroo Digital, who came up with the new logo. Gentle Men, the Bromeo, and Tourism. As ACGL are now calling you, what is it? Ultrarism.
Ultrarism.
Ultrarism. It's fantastic. And good to have you back in a more RLCS official capacity where you can unleash your wild opinions on what's going down.
I said I'd be back quickly. It's been too long since my last one before that. So I'm making up for lost time. And I'm so excited because this RLCS may be the coolest, biggest shakeup. If you guys haven't read the patch notes, we're going to discuss all of that. But it's an exciting time to be a Rocket League fan.
And Bromeo, you were up all night putting together a little summon for the power rankings we're going to be talking about tonight.
Man, I didn't expect to go down such a deep statistical rabbit hole, but I'm glad with what I've learned, and I'm surprised by what I've learned. So I think we're all going to have a bit of fun later.
And on that note, so we are going to be so what we've done is all the broadcast talent have given their top 16 power rankings pre-season, and it's a little bit of a blind tasting. I mean, there's some information, but once you get past the top 8, you're like, yeah, okay, who knows what's what. So that's a bit of fun, but we want you to be involved too, and that's what Bromeo was up all night working on. So I've put a link in chat, and if you use the command !power, it will give you that link where you can go and do your own ranking. There are 24 teams which in our estimation have the potential of making top 16. So you can put your ranking of those teams there. And it's a lot harder than you think. Honestly, once you get past 6, it's a struggle.
If y'all don't follow
but
you need to get in.
we're going to include your rankings. The community curated power ranking will be part of the power rankings we look at a bit later. So you've got time now to go and open up that spreadsheet or open up that form and put your power ranking together. We'll circle back to that a little later. But quickly, how's it to everybody who's here in chat? I saw Yakals reported for duty almost instantly. Good to see you. And then Rowan is here. And Alt, I don't know if you remember Rowan from definitely the first season of RLCS. I can't remember when he left, if he played the second season or not, but a bit of an OG name, and is now playing Uni Rocket League. So he will be at Rage. So good to have him there, and we're going to be talking about Rage in a moment. Twerk your way to the top. Okay, cool. Hello, Stones. Unchosen. Good to have you. And Tubbsy's here. And Syntax is here. That's good. We're definitely going to be talking about your team a little later. Hello, Borky. Hello, Harmonic. Okay, guys, good to have you. I think we got a banger of a podcast episode. But to get things kicked off, we're going to have a conversation about University Rocket League. It's a scene that is growing, and now there is some muscle behind it. And the 2025 University Finals are going to be held at Rage in just a few weeks' time. So we're going to be talking about that and a few other things with Wesley from Mettlestate. How's it, Wes?
Hello, gentlemen. Hello. It's good to be here. Yeah.
So
before we get started.
Yes, go ahead.
I just wanted to say, love what you guys are doing here. If I was in the scene. I would have loved. I would have eaten this up. So happy to be there.
well. Part of our plan is to kind of rope you in more and more into the scene. But I understand what you mean. You have a real job and a real life right now, which is consuming things. And well, I'm going to get things kicked off, and then I'm going to let Bromeo and Ultrasm fire away some questions. But what I'd like to do is start with the broad picture and then work our way to a focused view of what's happening now and in the immediate future. So first of all, Mettlestate, it's a if you're in esports, it's a name you hear about, but who and what is Mettlestate? What are you guys all about? Give us a bit of the lore on Mettlestate.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mettlestate started off as a tournament organizer at its very core. Founded by Barry, also known as Anthrax, in 2015. He traveled the world and he saw what ESL are doing. He saw what PGL are doing, and he was inspired to create something similar in South Africa. So it started off with tournaments, got built into a whole ecosystem on our website. But yeah, now it's a lot about bringing brands to gamers and gamers to brands.
All right, and all right. Well, over to you, Bromeo. I mean, we've had the pleasure of being a bit involved with casting some university Rocket League. So we're sort of on the periphery, getting more involved. But I'm sure you have questions.
Yeah, no, I got plenty.
Before you jump in with those questions, I want to give a shout out to Barry, because the newer generation, if you guys don't know who Barry Anthrax Loudzer, right? Is
Uzada,
yeah. Sorry for the pronunciation, but he was an OG of the scene. That guy was at all the big tournaments. He was one of the guys who brought esports to life in the scene before streams or anything was a thing. So it's a name that shouldn't fade from history. So big shout out there. He's done a lot of work in the scene. So over to you now, bro.
Shout out!
Thank you for your kind words, historian altruism right there. And Wes, I know we're interviewing you now, and we saw you just a couple of weeks ago. And chat, for those of you who don't know, we've been casting Mettlestate's University Esports, Varsity Esports. And that's been Rocket League for the last two splits. Out of what? It's online first, and then the split finals have been at the EFC Arena in Rivonia, which has been one hell of a vibe. So how did that come about, Wes? How do we end up playing Rocket League in a fighting arena, being streamed, getting shouted? It's just been one of those things. Yeah, how did that come about?
It's been a bit surreal, but yeah, going way back, again, all things start with Barry, but this is something he's been working towards for the last 7 years, trying to get esports into universities officially. And just, I think it was a year or two ago, esports became officially recognized as a sport in these universities, which sort of opens up the door for us to kind of build up this space, this esports space, because it doesn't have, your regular leagues or anything established yet. So we teamed up with a company called Awesome. They run what you might know as varsity rugby, varsity football, varsity netball. And, we came as the gamers, and we want to sort of establish an esports league in the same way they've done the varsity rugby, which has become so popular these days. So it's still early days, but the goal is to create a long-term, I suppose, esports leagues for university students that, eventually, we want to see bursaries being given for esports, things like that, things that are really going to grow esports from the ground up.
What I really wanted...
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I just like Bromeo, you'll even relate to this. We've been doing a lot of the schools league stuff, and like we've been seeing the pro league for years, right? That's the only league that's really existed. But it's now so cool to see the entire path to pro is becoming a thing. You've got university proving grounds now. I mean, we've got some of our top Rocket League players who kind of went pro and are now playing in the university league. So to see those names come up, people like to die for, and I think Cam's going to be there as well, right? But to see like the kids are now going to university, they've been playing for 3 years. Now they play for another 3 or 4 years. It's a really cool thing that you guys are doing, and the passion. It's going to take a while, but that's what the path is now there. The basic gravel, right?
100%, 100%. And it's something, when I went to uni, there wasn't anything like this. Something I would love to enjoy, and like the fact that we fly out all of these teams from Cape Town, from Stellenbosch, and they get to spend the weekend with their mates and experience what a LAN is like. Because a lot of players, especially amateur players, they don't get that opportunity at that level. So we kind of giving people that LAN experience, that travel experience, and yeah, I love to see it.
And we spoke about players quickly, and you sent me a little breakdown of who's actually going to be playing at LAN. And there's a lot of new faces, and there's a lot of names that you will already know, chat. And I'm speaking to you guys here. For like Puka, there is Technic Eagle. For UCT, there is To Die for Peanuts. There for Stellenbosch, who are featuring 2 teams. They are just that good. They are like the powerhouse of University Rocket League right now. They've got Blade, they've got Darth, they've got Rowan, and so many names that are coming up through the scene. And one of my favorite things about this event, Wes, and I'll tell you why, is a lot of the players playing are involved in the community scene somehow. And one of the players for Varsity College, a player called Suckers, I had just beaten in an RSC match the night before he headed into LAN. So as we're walking
You're gonna tell the story everywhere, man. Like,
no. I beat a university team. Sign me up, Stellies. Sign me up. But my favorite thing about this was the fact that the community is now getting involved. There's a way to filter upwards. And tell me, like, what is the plan with University Rocket League? How do you see this developing? What's the plan? Where do you want to go?
Yeah, so obviously this is year 1. I think we definitely have plans of expanding in terms of titles. We want to move wherever there are players, eventually cover them. There's, that's the beauty of esports and gaming, that there's such a variety of titles. But specifically with Rocket League, next year we definitely want to look at going to campuses, getting people. We're talking just before the show, but getting esports to the people. So it's, I wanna develop this rivalry that you might see in rugby, where it's UCT versus Stellies and Tux versus UCT, and where people feel a sense of pride representing their university in esports, much like you would in normal sports.
What is the?
I'm excited. Go, Graybeard. Sorry, this is your podcast.
I'm curious about numbers, because it is growing, and it's not in it. I feel like it was in its infancy. Probably 3 years ago, there was an attempt at University Rocket League or esport, and it wasn't quite there. I feel like there's something there now. But so how many unis are participating, and how many unis are there to get to? Are potentially able to be brought into the scene?
So at the moment, we're sitting around 22 universities across varsity esports. Any university can register. It's just a matter of admin. Not all of those universities are fielding Rocket League teams. I feel like it's not yet at the level of, let's say, EAFC in terms of accessibility, where all you need is a PlayStation. It's a common sport, but it's definitely, our second most popular sport at the moment, and
We need to make it the 1st most popular, but that's our
1st.
problem.
what I can say is that I've definitely felt much more of a community when it comes to Rocket League, much more than any other title at the moment. And I'll give you guys your flowers. That's definitely a big part of what you guys do, and keeping everyone together, doing shows like this. It goes a long way. I remember going back to Dota 2 days, and it's got to start from the community itself, and it has to build out from that. The money can't always be involved, and obviously it's nice when it is, but it needs to start out of passion. I remember just myself running 1v1 tournaments just for fun, and you don't think it at the time, but things like that really grow the community and really create this presentable community for sponsors to get involved in bringing that cash.
The fact that sponsors are getting involved is kind of testament to
If y'all
the
don't follow
passion from every
Greybeard,
one of these
you need to get in
communities.
there.
Like you say, it's built through the community. So it's the fact that sponsors are actually willing to give money. And that's what I'm excited now. The fact that there's a competitive league at the schools level and at now the university level, it's always competition that refines our skills, that makes us able to compete on the big stages. You're never going to play as well only playing with your mates at your friend's house versus on a big stage somewhere. So like big shout out to giving these guys, and the fact that you've got 22 universities, that's bigger than I expected in terms of across the country, and that just keeps growing.
Yeah.
And
And
the fact that you've got universities actually backing it means you're going to get backing financially from the universities, and now we can start employing coaches to improve these guys further. It's a good
And
change.
I hope like these universities start looking at the school leagues and offering bursaries to like the best, trying to get the best players to their university so their university can perform, But I think we're still a couple of years out from that, but you got to start somewhere.
It has happened internationally, so there's a precedent for it working, which is a cool step that we can kind of see into the future a little bit. We just have to get there.
And that is and that's the ongoing mission is to keep going, which is why there are two very hard things with getting things going. One is to actually start it, and we all procrastinate. We all try want to run out the gate with a perfect product. But the important thing is just getting started in some way, shape, or form. And then probably the hardest thing is to carry on after you've done that first event, the first couple of events, to keep going. Because and that for me is incredibly important, to support this activity so that next year it's bigger than this year, and then 27 it's even bigger. And then the things like bursaries and finally, I'm convinced that someone's parent who's connected to vast sums of money is going to see their kid playing either in a high school final or a uni final and go, okay, we got to get involved with this, and so it comes. And I just wonder
the esports arena somewhere, guys, please.
Yeah.
You need a gigantic stadium, and let's fill it.
That would be, and it is going to come. Absolutely, it's going to come. I do feel like with Rocket League, I mean, Ultrazim, you were talking about the path. High school, well, these days with Rocket League, primary school, high school, and then but I think with Rocket League, because it's such a young esport, it's almost, we're seeing this in North America, where it's almost, the path is high school, pro, retire, university Rocket League. You retire and go to university and play Rocket League.
It's better than our path, which is come out of nowhere, go pro, retire, go pro, retire, go pro, retire, go pro, retire, go caster. And then it's
all we need now is for Skillsteel to decide he needs to go to university and then join a Rocket League team there.
Yakil says that there are a few SA universities that do give bursaries, which is interesting.
Really? That's amazing.
We need to have a chat about that.
Yeah, we definitely need to.
I need to finish my BCom, Yuckles.
He can beat suckers.
Oh, I love that.
All right, let's now talk about Rage. Rage is coming up in just a few weeks, 5th to the 7th of December. So what 5 titles are being featured at Rage?
Yeah, so this is just from Mettlestate side. We've obviously got Varsity Esports, my sort of passion project there, which will have Rocket League, obviously, EAFC, and Valorant. Then we've got the Monster Call of Duty Invitational. We've got Mamelodi Sundowns coming through with their esports championship. We've also got Cassie Flair, which is sort of our township EAFC tournament. And then we've got the New Dogs Nedbank with the MasterCard Nedbank Summoner tournament. Long names. But yeah, lots happening, lots to see. Specifically for Rocket League, would be the Friday, would be the day to go. That's when Varsity Esports will be on.
And who are who's competing? So as far as I know, there's 4 teams coming. So you got 2 semis and a final happening, right?
Correct. So we've got Northwest University, University of Cape Town, and 2 teams from Stellenbosch. Stellenbosch, you know, in our playoffs, they had, I think it was 4 or 5 teams just for Rocket League in competing. So there's a huge scene down there in Selly. So well done to them. But yeah, so looking
wait
at
for the Stellenbosch chat to light up right now.
I just want to jump in there. Like, honestly, what do you do? Go do a nice little wine tasting and then settle down for a scrum.
You know, that would be the best way to spend my university. Are you kidding me?
It's like, a demo and a Pinot Grigio.
Absolutely.
So, so the highlight there, just to is Friday. Friday, the 5th of December is when Rocket League is going to be happening. Myself and Bromeo are going to be there. I hope I'm not talking out of turn. To be and we'll be casting the varsity finals for Rocket League, which is going to be pretty dope to see. So whatever, if you were planning to come through to Rage, make sure you come on the Friday. If you weren't planning to come to Rage, plan to come to Rage and come on the Friday. And you might even get to meet Wes. But I've seen Wes at these esports events. He's not an easy man to have a conversation with on those days, Wes.
No, not at all. But I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, you put up your hand. You're like, I need to tell
right.
the public and you something very important.
So, for those that don't know, Rage is actually at Four Ways Mall, which is something we've never really seen before. For these big gaming expos. So I think what's nice about that is it's very convenient. You know, you can ask the family to take you through, you go upstairs to Rage, they can go have a lunch or something, or they can come with and see all the action. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that it's at Four Ways Mall, quite convenient to come through for those of you in Joburg.
And most excitingly for me, it is a 4-minute drive from where I live, so I'm very stoked about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, again, you know, if we think back over the years, having live events where people in a gaming community could meet each other, particularly Rocket League, was very, very rare. And now there are more and more of them. And, you know, ACGL have got the AGC LAN down in Cape Town in July. There's Comic-Con, there's small events at Comic-Con in Cape Town, VS Gaming at Comic-Con in Joburg. We had the RSC LAN back in October. And then now Rage in December. And it is just it hits so differently to connect with people you've played with online, played against online, or just interacted online for so long. So these are great opportunities for the community to interact, to meet each other. So get your ass down to Rage on the 5th. And on that point, Nearstream, who are one of the RSC sponsors and looking to be more involved in Rocket League, are giving away 3 tickets to Rage. They are day passes for any day, but if you get one from us, you have to come Friday. And we will be giving those 3 tickets away on Just Saying next Monday. Bromeo and I just need to brainstorm what you have to do. Yes, Wes?
Can I add 3 more tickets to that?
Yes!
Let's do it.
Let's get more people there.
Look at that.
Let's get them out there.
We now have 6 tickets to give away to Rage.
Wait, do you have
Outstanding.
any ideas for what they have to do, like for a competition or something like that? Let's make it interesting.
Yo, putting me on the spot. I think you guys come up with
Brainstorm it
the.
then.
Wes's brain is occupied with other things. He has tickets. It's all the thinking I'm doing about that. Thank you very much. Okay, great. So we'll have 6 tickets to give away, and we'll figure out how we're going to do that, and we'll give them away next Monday. All right. So any closing words from you, Wes, on Mettlestate, varsity esports, varsity Rocket League, especially with what you expect 2026 to look like?
Yes, thank you for having me, guys. I've loved this, and I you guys said you're trying to sell me on Rocket League. I'm definitely warming up to the guys and the community. I mean, seeing people in chat just hanging out and listening is amazing to see. So well done to you guys, and well done to the Rocket League community. Definitely going to be top of mind for
Excellent.
when considering tournaments next year. Definitely.
Well, that's got me all encouraged. All right,
Do
Wes.
something in KZN, please. Please come do something in KZN.
The only thing in KZN currently is altruism.
Bring me friends.
Yeah, listen, it is rough, and we applaud you, Alt, for flying the flag for KZN, because it does feel like you get the very, very short end of the stick.
Me with my one little flag across.
Well, if we go to a varsity in in Durban, then we'll see you there.
Fabulous. All right, Wes, we're going to let you go and cook food, which I think is what you said you're going to do once you're done here, so you can go and have some dinner.
Well, yeah, I think I'm actually I'll watch the end of this.
Excellent. Good man. All right. Well, Mettlestate, big shout out for growing the University Rocket League scene. We wish you great success with it. And certainly from a Rocket League perspective, anything we can do and our community can do to assist in those endeavors, we will be there to do it, because it's needed, it's important, and we want to make it win.
Love it. Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Peace out, mate. Cheers. All righty. Well, there we go. Exciting times. I remember in the days of the first efforts at this podcast, it was always a scramble for what we're going to talk about. Now there's too much to talk about, and these things go too long. So moving rapidly along. Sign-ups for RLCS 2026 Open number 1 close tomorrow. And then the qualifiers will be on Saturday and Sunday. On Saturday will be a double elimination bracket where the field will be narrowed to 32 players. And at 32, you get yourself the RLCS contender title. And then the top 16 is decided on Sunday in a Swiss two pools of 16 teams to narrow down to 16 teams. And then on Friday the 27th will be the start of main event, where the 16 will be narrowed down to 8. And then we have the broadcast days, Saturday and Sunday. And the first thing I wanted to touch on is signups. It was very, very important that we get a lot of signups for this, because one of the big arguments about changing the rule from the region free-for-all we had in 2024 and 25 and going to the 2/3 rule, the argument was that it was a little bit demotivating for local players to sign up, because all of these EU players are coming in and taking all the cash. And so one of Epic's
Graybeard, you need to get in there.
One of Epic's measurements is, okay, well, now we have the 2/3 rule, that we better see the signups to match. And starting with signups, I am very pleased that it does look like we are doing very well on that score. I just want to make sure.
I was just going to say, like, speaking from a motivation to sign up perspective, there was a point where we almost didn't have a graybeard signing up. He was that miserable. So when we're talking about motivating people to sign up purely from the fact that we got our region back, I think we should start with, the very top, with the man in the top left of your screen, because I think he's leading the flag with regards to motivation.
Well, I will reveal now at the close of the last broadcast of the last regional of the last season, I said to everyone, I don't know if the rules don't change, I don't know if I can do this again. That was very rough. But now.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know how much we're giving away of behind the scenes of Greybeard, but that was not a happy man at the end of the day. He kept that strong face the whole way. We all kept it strong till the bitter end.
And you see how firm his beard is right now. It was a droopy beard. There was not a happy beard.
Let's just put it this way: it was a happy day when the rule changes actually became official. So, yeah.
And then followed by what we have seen since then. I mean, the rosters we are seeing forming, and we've all agreed that this is such an exciting time, and we're so incredibly excited for the season. Almost as much as we were for that very, very first season, because now there's a bit of experience and a sense of what to expect. So let's kick off things with the signups. And I am very pleased to say that
baby.
As of now, hold on, I just need to do a refresh in case this has changed. But okay, no, as of right now, there are 102 signups. 102 teams have signed up, which is just staggering. And in a moment, I'm going to put that in perspective in terms of the historical information on signups and what it looks like before the region unlock and after, the 2/3 rule and all of that jazz. But keep signing up, and there are a few teams that were waiting to sign up, like Wilu's team. We'll talk about them in a moment. They haven't signed up yet, but they will. Signups close tomorrow at 5 o'clock, which is messing with my brain, guys, because ever since RLCS has been a thing, signups for the qualifier close on the Monday before the weekend of qualifiers. And then this season, they've changed it to Tuesdays. So my muscle memory got a bit messed up, but it is tomorrow. So you still got time if you're keen. And then a reminder that we are doing power rankings for our top 16 teams. And if you want to get your vote in, I'm putting a link in chat now. Go and put your vote in on who you think are the top 16 teams, and we'll compare the curated community vote with what the casters, the talent
it's looking
team.
Interesting. It's looking interesting. I'm not gonna lie. The top 8 is not matching up, and so there's going to be a few good talking points by the time we get there.
How many people in the community have put their teams in?
So when you click on that link, it'll lead you to a sliding form where you basically slide the tiles into the order of which you think these teams should be. And so far, 30 people have undertaken that exercise for the community vote. So it's not a small vote base, and it's only going to get more.
I'm a little nervous now as to cause some controversy with our rankings, because there's a lot of people getting invested in this and having their ideas. But
you know what's good?
I don't know, Greybeard. I don't know if anyone really knows what's going on. That's
no one does, and that's
how widespread this is.
This is going to be the most uncontroversial power ranking, because it's pretty much roll the dice.
You say that, Greybeard, until you see how freaking ultras have voted.
Okay, before we even get into this and I have a chance to defend it. Okay, we'll get there.
And then just to correct myself, Jay from Astronic in chat corrected me. So top 32 gets challenger, top 16 get contender in-game titles. I had it the wrong way around. So big shout out on the signups. Well done to everybody who has. And then on that point, so just to put this into context of our history, so the history of SSA RLCS signups in the 21-22 season, there you can see the highest number of signups per split. 66 teams signed up in Split 1, 48 in Split 2, and 51 in Split 3. Those were the highest of those splits. And then you'll see the 50 next to it, because the number of people who sign up is not the same number who will actually start the tournaments, because obviously the sign-ups have to go through verification, and maybe some players don't actually qualify, or teams don't complete, or so by the time you actually start qualifiers, the number who start will be lower than the number who signed up. So in that record sign-ups in the first season of 66 teams, only 50 teams started the qualifiers. And this was obviously in the before times when it was hard region lock. Everybody had to be from SSA. Yeah. And then 2022-23, you can see it averaged about 57 per regional per split, the highest being 59 in split 2. And I don't have the number for how many actually started. Getting some of this historical data has been a bit of a challenge. And then we moved to 2024 when it was, hey, we will take all comers. And in Split, the highest number of signups in Split 1 was 102 teams. And 99 of those, so we only lost 3 teams by the time we started. 102 signups. That's what we're on right now. And then 79 was the highest in Split 2. And in 2025, Split 1, I mean, it was huge. There was 125 signups with 113 starting. So that has been...
But that was open season at that point.
Absolutely.
You've got to preface this by the fact that how many of those were European? At least half.
Half. It was just shy of half.
And they extended the prize pool to a much deeper... Well, that was in 2024, I think.
2024 and 25, correct.
That's why we had the big boost in numbers. Everyone wanted their shot and wanted for a prize pool. But the interesting thing is from Split 1 to Split 2 in both years, both of the later years, the drop-offs is everyone's like, oh, okay, this is an international league market. Why am I bothering anymore?
Yes.
Let's get the Spanish invasions going.
So out of the 102 signups, here are some interesting stats. So the vast majority of, well, the top teams anyway, like let's call it the top probably 24, 26 teams, most of them have an EU player or a non-SSA player under the 2/3 rule on their roster. I think the number of EU players in the 102 teams is about 23-24 as it stands now. So that's an interesting number there. And the player breakdown. So when you work it out, 102, a lot of the teams have subs. It's around 275, 280 individual players. Over 200 of those are South Africans. Next up is Reunion, who have around 55 players. So they are the second by some distance. And then third is the general category of EU, which is around 24 to 26, there or thereabouts. That number might move up and down between now and the close of signups. But then, guys, probably the most urgent stat for us to fix over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons is the non-South African, non-Reunion Island SSA players. So any SSA players not in South Africa or Reunion is less than 10, which is a little rough.
Yeah, that is pretty rough.
Like, it's really exciting to see, and surprising, in fact, to see so many Reunion guys coming out. Big shout out there. The fact that they're doubling the EU imports with Reunion guys. Hell's yeah to that tiny community of passionate guys. But where's the rest of Sub-Saharan Africa, as this is actually... Well, I'm tired of calling this the South African Open. Like, it's not fair. And the guys from Namibia, from Kenya, like, those guys should get a chance. And I'd love to see more of those.
You know, I went on a deep dive, like, not too long ago, just trying to find esport organizations and what throughout Africa. And they exist. They do. It's just Rocket League is not very much a part of that ecosystem the way it is in South Africa, because it's adopted by schools and universities. Esports, especially when you get to Middle Africa, is all about FIFA. or the mobile version of FIFA. So it's a cultural thing that needs to change. It's not even necessarily an access to the sport. It's just simply not a cultural thing there. There is not a Rocket League culture that exists. So if you are watching and you do happen to originate from somewhere that isn't South Africa or Reunion, then you got a very big job ahead of you, because you need to introduce as many people to Rocket League as possible.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there's around 35 countries who are SSA, so there's a lot of potential for growth, and we got a lot of work to do. We got to break out of. I mean, I still haven't figured out why Reunion became such a thing. It was just. I mean, we discovered at Ultrazim in that first season of RLCS with the signups. You're like, Reunion? What the hell is a reunion?
They were damn good. They're like skyrocketed to the top of a lot of people's awareness, just because, holy cow, came like 4th position or 5th or something. Like it was top 8 at least, I can say with certainty. And I'm going, damn, is this? I don't know. There were 50 people on the island of Reunion before this tournament, and just showing my ignorance, I was so happy to be proven delighted by it. Not wrong, just enlightened.
And they were instant legends. PWB, that team of Panda Wheelu and Boy. I mean, they were instant legends. It was fantastic to see. So Reunion, keep going.
We look like one of the family right now coming out.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, now, so that's the deal on signups. There is still time. Let's bump it up. The concern there is currently, as it stands, with those 102 teams, 17 of them are incomplete, which would instantly bring that number down to 102 minus 17. So if you've signed up with an incomplete team, make sure you wrap up and complete your sign up. And we'll see our number after 5 o'clock tomorrow. And now we're going to talk a little bit of roster news, but the first item is we've in my spreadsheet of rosters, we've had a team called Gotten Org, which is Wheelu, Cam, and Renshiro. I was told they have an organ they're going to announce, and then it's like, oh, when are they going to announce? And they have now finally announced. So I thought we would have
there. I'm assuming that was Finnish casting. Do we get the casters as well in this deal?
Ooh.
Do they come with the package? That's what I want to know.
Language broadcast? Yes.
Man, I would love that. That would be so
banger.
We were already considered like an alternative language broadcast when we were first introduced in there. They were like English and French and Spanish and Sub-Saharan Africa. So bring in all the languages at this stage.
Well, let's move on to, so there's a little bit of roster news, which I thought we would talk about. And it does confuse things because obviously with the power ranking, they're listed as not an God and Org. So when you see God and Org, you know that is rounds. So last week, and for a couple of weeks, we've gone through the rosters that we know about, and there were a bunch of players who were under the general heading of in the wind, like where are these players? What roster are they going to have? So there's a couple of changes, and then there's a little bit of drama. So we'll outline that right now and go through a few rosters that have now settled and have registered for this. The first is Douglas, Dilly, and Rubix have been picked up by Akimbo Esports. And my only disappointment there is that I said, because it's DDR, I suggested they call themselves Double Data Rate. And that's how they registered. They were known as Double Data Rate until late yesterday when they got it picked up. But so Bromeo Rubik's coming back. He was a feature last season, obviously with Foot for a little while, and then going out on his own with Bulletproof. But I'm a big fan of Douglas, and Dilly did well with Hybor at the Comic-Con LAN.
Well, yeah, it's really good to see Rubik's entering the fold again. One of the players I really enjoy watching purely because his playstyle is so completely different, to his compatriots. And I think it's going to bring an interesting element to this year's RLCS. So, yeah, welcome. And Douglas and Dilly re-entering again is always good for the scene.
I think Rubik's is going to be a big part of this. A lot of our conversations are going to hinge around the international aspect of each of these teams, but he's a tried person who we've seen for a couple of seasons, and we know he's good. So when you can go with the known evil, if it was, we can see he's going to have a great impact and some nice people to pick up alongside him. So certainly worth watching. When are we doing the power rankings?
Right after this. Right after this.
I guess we're not giving too much away right now.
Nah, and then you know what? Listen, the attention spans, you assume people are locking on to what we're saying, so don't worry about it. They'll forget by the time we get there. I've had a bit of back and forth with Rubix, and he is so excited about Dilly. He says Dilly's got so much potential. So Dilly's been there and thereabout. Maybe we see a breakthrough season from him. So there we go. Akimbo Esports. Good luck. Next up is Cristobal : Mercury, Zeph, and Pingu. So the return of a villain, a bit of a villain from last season, Cristobal. They had a number of rosters, even Guns flirted with them for a bit. But Mercury, Zeph, Pingu, interesting, definitely potential to make it into top 16. I'm not sure about top 8.
Man, I really enjoy Mercury as a player. He gets better and better every season. Zeph also, loved watching him, especially with Bird. But Pingu, when he was obviously rostered up with Guns and Yova, who coincidentally is also looking for a team. I'm not sure if he's found one yet. But this is a good team. And I'm desperately trying to find how I rank them so I don't gas them up too high or drop them down too low. But I think they're a good team. I don't think they're going to be barking with the big dogs though.
Yeah, probably with the mid-sized dogs. All right, that's Cristobal, and then old school 5BS, Ram, and Marmone. Marmone, talking about villains, was the sub for Young Money Clan. I don't know how many games he actually played. He might have played 1 or 2. I do remember him at least playing maybe in like Swiss or something. He was involved in a couple of games, but he now joins 5BS and Ram. The most exciting for me there, guys, is the return of Ram to RLCS.
Man, I love to see the fact that Ram's now entering the space again. Also, one of my favorite players of 2024. He was an incredible talent. Werty seemed to unlock something in his play. So I love to see the fact that Ram is back. I had a question regarding Marmone because I know the whole bunch of YMC guys got banned for a bit. Was Marmone included in that ban?
He was not.
Okay, so we don't hate Marmone. Okay.
Well, listen, on this subject of Young Money Clan, Motion has made top 16 main event in Europe. So, which he announced on Twitter yesterday, and I gave him a bit of a hat tip. You know, we have to move on from the past, and shout out to him
Do we though?
You know what? I'm willing. With him firmly ensconced in Europe, I'm happy for him. Well done to Motion.
I'm so happy for you. Stay there. Okay, great. Let's move on.
Okay, that's old school. Next is Ox Gaming have picked up Technic, Eagle, Stradic, and Lixa. Lixa out of... Who did Lixa play for? Oh, God, I had this and I've completely forgotten. Do you remember, guys?
Lixa's Portuguese, I think.
Someone in chat will correct us. But Stradic, I'm very happy to see involved. I'm not sure. I mean, Technic. I'm like so many other things about Open number one. I don't know how well this roster can do. They're for me a maybe top 16, but we'll get to that in the rankings. But glad to see Ox still involved in the SSA RLCS scene. So well done.
To be honest, my highlight for this team is Technic Eagle. He's one of the guys that I've seen come from the schools league, and the fact that he's, again, trying it out, pushing for RLCS, he's developing constantly. Love to see him joining up with names that we've gotten to see a couple other times. So, like you say, I think they should be happy if they can make top 16, but it's certainly not one of my favorites for this split. Or
then,
this open.
Next up, Team 10. Now, Tristan I was worried about because I was hearing nothing about Tristan. Then Snoozy, I'd convinced myself wasn't even going to bother with RLCS this season. But Tristan and Snoozy have teamed up along with, I'm going to go with Kazudo as his name. And he is...
Kazudo.
Do you guys remember what Machtfish told us about him?
No. Not at all.
He said so many things.
He's from a European country and is so. So we'll see how he performs.
I mean, this is the most chilled, laid-back team out of the ones we're going to be highlighting. All of these guys are... I mean, we don't know Zudo, but Tristan and Snoozy, they had to have a good time and play some Rocket League and see if they can get a piece out of it, I think.
And I hope...
And I respect that.
I hope, Snoozy... For me, Snoozy could have been one of the top 3 players in the country, but he was, as I've said often, he was like on and off with Rocket League, and I don't know how serious he is, but we shall see. And so that's Team 10. Next up is Bear, another player out of what was South Africa's longest standing roster of Bird. Gold Ninja returns with Shadow, a South African playing out of Portugal, and Kexi. So they got 2 players playing with high ping and Gold Ninja, so I just don't know.
Is that allowed?
Yes, it is. It was clarified with admins that Shadow will fall under the SSA ambit, so they are a 2/3 roster.
He's like studying overseas or like just started working or something out that way. And I mean, he's
it's just
for a long time.
Yeah, that's one of those loopholes where you're like, you are SSA, you're just not in it right now. That's valid conjecture, but also with 2 players on ping, they're gonna have a rough time of things, but it's a bunch of likable fellows, all of them really cool peeps, so I wish them all the best. I'm just not sure how they're gonna fare on the power rankings.
We'll have more answers after a weekend and a half, so we shall see. And then next up, Saro Esports, Potato with a Gun, Cozy Fuzzball, and Orkwax. Orkwax is from Luxembourg. So also a big fat question. We just don't know. Potato, Ultrasm, you mentioned Technic. Technic and Potato were teaming. Potato for me still gets first prize for best named player in the region, but I don't know.
We have to be kind because Cozy is in the chat. I know that. So Yeah. I didn't know the word awkward could look worse than the
Yeah.
especially with those W's doing this like sideways thing. That is
Yeah.
a funny thing to say, but it didn't make me look at it while I do it. Thanks. But
Wait. I just want to say,
I love this.
Yeah.
I just want to say, Cozy is obviously a Westmount player.
Yes.
For Westmount High School, one of the country's best high school Rocket League teams. So they do have some caliber coming out of this. Look, he's not, very much vaunted in esports circles from RLCS perspective, but he's been very solid in the high school scene. Potatoes, being a veteran for the longest of times already.
And now in the university scene.
Yeah, now in the university scene. So I think that this team, they might not be gunning for, top 6, top 8, but they definitely in for a shot of getting some good results if they apply it.
It's a competitive exposure as well. That's a big thing for someone like Cozy, who's just coming out of the school league. He's already hitting that pro level. We were talking about that like running leap that players have had to do in the past. He's stepping up, and I respect that. Hells yeah, at 19 years old, get on that stage.
So that is it on the rosters that we hadn't yet covered on the podcast, and now we get to the 11th hour roster drama, because it wouldn't be Rocket League without a bit of roster drama. And the first is, I noticed last night because I've been keeping an eye on the signups and who's signing up and whatever, and White Rabbit Gaming, who had signed up at least 10 days ago, suddenly were under the incomplete teams list. And I'm like, what? How are they incomplete? And that was incomplete because Galaxy is no longer on their roster. And then it was like, well, where is Galaxy gone? And then a search for Galaxy on start.gg finds him under the Cosmico roster as the sub. And I do have a bit of information, but my goodness, that is confusing, going from starting roster under one banner to the sub on another, and a little bit of a diagonal downways move in my mind.
Yeah, it's a tough one because, WRG would be, granted consistent play time, but Galaxy has a lot of room for growth and arguably a better team. So he might not get starting play time, but he'll get the scrims in, he'll get the exposure, and if he's looking for growth, that might be the move. And honestly, for them to have nailed him down at this point, in lieu of guaranteed game time, there has to be something that we're not exposed to. I'm pretty sure somebody from the top 3 isn't going to be available later in the year or something, and he's going to be given a couple of games here and there. But good for him. If it's the right move for him and this is what he wants, back him all the way.
It all depends on what you're wanting out of it, right? Are you here for the money? Then Cosmico's probably the better shot. If you get paid as the 4th sub, you can get a cruise to like top 4 spot or something. But otherwise, like Bromeo says, learning from these guys, working with these people. Cosmico's got some decent coaches that I assume are coming in. Do we have a confirmation on a coach for them? I haven't anyone in chat.
I think I'd heard something, but
yeah. Greybeard?
So my only concern with this is that Galaxy has been an underperformer for me for ages. And suddenly this year, 2025, he's gotten better and better and has had, in my mind, a huge impact on White Rabbit. And I was looking forward to 2026 being something of a breakout season for him. And I just hope it isn't a backwards move. Ford Hilux in chat is like, GB, what are you talking about? This is an upgrade. Okay. And there will be a Cosmico announcement about it on how it worked and what's going on there. But yes, I hope it's a good move for Galaxy because he certainly made a fan out of me this year. And the drama doesn't end there. There was one other bit of drama, is that Kitsune was making a return to Rocket League, which is very, very exciting. But interestingly, they had picked up Olympic. I'm trying to remember.
Mojito.
Oh, it was Mojito. That's right. Olympic, Mojito, Drew, and Specs as their sub. And I go, okay, well, if you want to get your feet wet in Rocket League, maybe that's not a bad place to start. But I wasn't convinced that was it was certainly not a guaranteed top 8, top 16 roster. And they'd signed up. They were on start.gg as Katsuni, but as of late yesterday, they are no longer with Katsuni. They are now Bingo at the Unicorn.
The names as a caster. This fantastic. I am here for this all the way. It's going to be the number of puns that we're going to make over these as well is great. But Bingo at the Unicorn.
I'm trying to see it. I feel like there's an anagram or something that we're missing.
Yes, we'll probably have to run it through one of the AIs to check. Batu is their acronym, but that doesn't mean much. So I don't know exactly what happened there, but that's obviously weird. And then Katsuni are, there's not too many options remaining in terms of picking up rosters. I do know they are talking to a few people, and and hopefully they'll pick up another, and hopefully they're not too discouraged, and that we will see them in RLCS, even if they don't make the first regional, the first open, maybe for Open 2 and so on. So there we go, Bingo at the Unicorn. Good luck to them. We'll see where they feature in the power rankings. And speaking of power rankings, I think it's about time we get to those power rankings, having exhausted all the other news around the rosters. So I think for that we can go to No,
anyone read chat about what?
Oh, I did want to quickly there was a great tweet from Noob Slice earlier today. Just because we were talking about the names, you were remarking on the names, Ultrasm. And so Noob Slice says the team names in SSA's opening RLCS qualifier have me in stitches. Here are some of my favorites: Demo My Dop, Average Vorse, Nkandla Style, Spanish Pappenvorse. SSA is African again.
Wow.
And those
even just Bear. Bear is such a random, and we've had a couple of those like water before. That is just like, okay, these guys just pick a dictionary and throw a dart at it or something. Come on.
On the subject of Bear, I think that's Gold Ninja's influence, because they were fish. Gold Ninja was on fish, then bird, and now bear. So I think they're just working their way through the animal kingdom. All right, well, here we go. Noob Slice, thank you for that. And so we did Bromeo did a form where everyone could go and put together their power rankings. So Bromeo, I'm going to hand this over to you.
All right. Well, what you're seeing in front of you on your left-hand side is the vote from you, the community. If you scroll up a little bit more, you'll see it. There were 31 votes. I just removed 2 because they were those kind of votes where people just clicked on the link and didn't do anything with the votes.
Okay.
So it was still in alphabetical order. So anyway, there were 31 votes, and this is what you see. There's a rating attached to each team. And then CNF is basically confidence in that rating. So that's also out of 100. It's basically how many people, as a percentage, had them in that position. So it's also color-coded. So if you see it go green, that's generally a trusted, what people think should be. If it goes red, that's highly disputed. Yellow is currently middle of the lane. And then right next to it, you've got the caster vote. So we, the desk of the upcoming split, had a look at the teams available, and we put our own power rating separate from the public vote, and that's what you can see to the right. So, Greybeard, I'll let you take it away with your observances there, but...
One clarification. So just a no-name team, if another person put them in first position, would they get some sort of weighted, they should be near the top kind of thing, or is it really just Absolute.
So the rating is out of 100, where the person at the top is 100, and then the team at the bottom is 0. And the difference between those two teams is basically the spacing, the weighted, how much they are ahead of the team behind them. So Casey is 9 points ahead of a no-name team. No-name team is, what's this? 11. Also 9 points ahead of Looking for Org.
Hold on,
but
that's not tying up with what's on the screen here, is it? Oh, sorry, that's the rating. Sorry, I was looking at the confidence score. My bad.
Okay.
So that's how, if you laid it all out in the line, you'll see that it's a very close race for third position for Looking for Org and Cosmico. That's just how you got to make sense of it.
Well, here we go. So the first four spots between the casters and the general community are bang on. They are fully aligned, and then it starts to diverge, and it gets worse as we go.
It gets pretty damn weird, given the fact, and I think this is down to people not knowing Synthesis too well. Synthesis getting put 8, but I would definitely put them in contention for 4th or 5th, no doubt. But that's just me, of course, as always. But it gets really, really interesting because even if you go down from 9th to 16th places, it's also looking very, very similar from the caster vote and from the audience. So I think there's no doubt that KC are on top, especially from confidence and their rating. Everybody put them as the top team. And then it's a little bit of distance for No Name Team in second, also for the caster vote. And then in 3rd and 4th position, that's where nobody knows who's better. Is it LFO Looking for Org, who is, let me just get this for you, Wordy Torres and Eliakim, or is it Cosmico, who is Ravi, Jeff, and Steak? So it's disputed at this point, and it only gets more hectic the lower you go, because Godnorg, Deathcloud, and Synthesis all within 8 points, rating points of each other, which means people don't really know at all.
And neither do we, to be fair. However, effectively, the top 8 between community and casters is the same. I mean, there's Astronic and Astronic up here, Synthesis down there, whatever. So, but effectively, the top 8 are. The names are all the same. The positions vary a little bit, and then we get the next 8 to make top 16. Community has Labosh at 9th. We have casters had Team HSK, but again very similar, 9 and 10. And then Cristobal Colon, the community has them at 11th. Where did we put them? Oh my goodness,
we didn't.
Oh, we didn't.
Nobody gave Cristobal. Cristobal didn't give them a shout.
So 18.
Yeah, well, I mean, the casters, to be fair, we just rated our top 16, which would be our top 16.
I can explain this one away as well. I included all of the teams that we didn't, count for, because yes, the casters only did top 16, but I included all of the teams that we didn't count as just one solid point.
Got you.
And the people, so it will still reflect from 17 to 24 who we think roughly should be there. It's just it was given a much higher points thing if you didn't pick them. So this should still reflect pretty accurately who we thought was better than the rest. So if you have a look, though, what is really interesting is that the community vote thinks Bear, which is, let's have a look here. Bear is Gold Ninja, Shadow, and Kexi.
Oh, Shadow, yeah.
Bear, we didn't give them a shout at all. We don't think Cristobal Colon was in top 16 either. That's Mercury, Zeph, and Pingu. And what's also interesting is that insofar as Unity, Labosh, Team ASK, HSK, and WRG, double data rate. So that's 5 teams of the 8 that both the community and the casters agree are going to finish 8 to 16. So it's not too far off.
However, both the caster vote and the community vote when it comes to White Rabbit Gaming were made before we all knew that Galaxy was going to. Galaxy suddenly not there changes the dynamic completely. And I don't know who they're going to. Right now, Applesauce, who's their coach and sub, is filling in as their third. There is an EU player who I think is around a 2.1k player, there or thereabouts. He was looking for an SSA team. He was roaming around my Discord. So I've put them in touch. Whether that comes to pass or not, I don't know. But that may well change where WRG sits on the power rankings.
I think so as well. And we also gave Kitsune a shout. Which the community isn't touching with a 10-foot pole. So that's also interesting.
And I've got to say, on my personal power ranking, Kitsune didn't feature there. And I had Chrome in the top 16, but my fellow casters don't agree with me.
Don't worry, Fort Hilux is calling us out in chat completely that we didn't.
No. Fort Hilux, give us your 16, so at the end of the split we can see if you cooked or not, because it must be nice calling it out. We put our votes out there, and you'll see some individual votes just now if we're not leaking too much. It's on the second page. But for now, 17 to 24, this is where it got really interesting. Nobody gave Saro Esports a single shot.
Sorry, bro, guys.
It was
as
rough.
a reminder, Saro is Cozy, Potato, and Orkwax.
That was, across the board. Bear, we had them at 23rd. They've got 13 for the community vote. So that is a massive difference. Ox Gaming at 21st place for both casters and the community. And then there is a little bit of up and down. Kitsune at 23rd for the community, which I think, given the current state of things, isn't too far of a shout. But Chrome getting 19th for us as casters, 17th for the community. So also not too far off. But what I'd like to note is that we gave Spanish Pup and Vos, who is, I think it's Nitro, Zyro, and Chunkler.
Yeah.
We gave them a good shout at 12th, but the community puts them out of top 16 at 18th. So that is also one of the big differences. So Bear's one of the big droppers, and so is Spanish Pup and Vos. We've got Spanish High and Bear Low, and they've got Bear High and Spanish Low.
So I'm gonna out myself right now. You talked about some of my more niche picks through this. Spanish Pup and Vos, I put in as 5th. I thought that they could actually make a good solid top 8 run on a good day, but they've been in big competitions before, so I don't think they deserve out of top 16. Come on, there I'm gonna start fighting some people.
Well, you know what, you can fight on the 30th of November.
Yeah, we'll see.
When we have more answers, because we have so few of them now.
And Greybeard, is there an observation you're making from here that's absolutely scandalous? Because I can see Flocy saying this list is a bit wild. They say Unity's too high. Ford Hilux says he doesn't know what's going on this list at all. If there's anything that you think is standing out, let's discuss it. Let's talk about it now. Chat, that includes you. I think though
up a little bit more.
Sorry,
I got old school up a lot more. Again, top 8 again, and that is old school on my little sheet.
Well,
old school 5BS RAM and Marmoen.
There is a reason. There is a reason that people who stream or make content do power rankings. You see it on Twitter, you see it on streams, you see YouTube videos, and the reason is because it is by its nature controversial, because there's we see the complaints from Flocy, from Jeff, from Syntax, from they're like, what? Well, Declan, we're top 8. That's crazy.
No, but I think that's fair. So let's scroll up. I think if we're looking at top 4, I think there's universal acknowledgement that KC, No Name Team, which is Snowy Tekos and Guns. Looking for Org,
No,
which
no,
is...
no, this is not consensus. Hang on.
No. Hold up. Let me finish. You can consensus all you want when we're done here. But there is an average positioning that KC are on top, and then it's going to be No Name Team, Looking for Org, and whoever was there, Cosmico, are going to be rounding out top 4. I think that is fair. I don't think that is hugely controversial, but Alt, I'd love to hear your take.
Are we really not putting God and Org in? Like the top 4? Are we talking like Wheelie, Cam, and Renfiro are not potentially top 4 material?
I think any of these top 8 could make. I think the only locked in consensus is 1 and 2. I think, and
I think it could flip between those two as well. I had it the other way around. I had No Name Team on number 1. I think Snowy has got lots of life in seeing Guns back into this. If Guns has been training and he's still got his high level caliber that we saw previously, To Die For Sweaty versus Gun Snowy is the matchup that I'm most excited to see, and I think it could still go Gun Snowy way.
And that's on paper. They are still to be tested in the heat of battle in terms of mentality and how they gel together when shit gets tense. And that for me is the big question to be answered over the Open number 1 weekend. Because on paper, those 3 players, I agree with you, Alt, absolutely could take the Pioneers, but we got to see how they go. And to answer Wes's question in chat, Kansas City Pioneers are To Die For, Sweaty, and Lewis P out of Spain.
Honestly, guys, I think the community and the casters all voted for the same top 8. The only differences in these 8 teams is that community put Astronic in 5th and Synthesis in 8th, and we put Synthesis in 5th and Astronic in 8th. We're in agreement that these are our Champ Sunday teams.
Yes.
So, come Champ Sunday, if we don't see these teams, all of us are wrong.
But but then on the plus side, the weekend after the first Open, we'll be doing. Well, actually, no, we can't do it the weekend after because guaranteed, A, it's Rocket League, B, it's SSA. After the first Open, these rosters are going to fall apart, and there's going to be a whole new bunch of rosters that we'll have to power rank before the start of Open number 2.
And speaking of, I think that this should become a thing.
Yes.
It's pretty easy to get these power rankings up. Chad, if this is something you guys want to see us do more often, happily do it. And once we've done a couple, we can compare them and see how wrong we were over the course of an entire season. Did we put everything in KCP in the beginning of the season only to realize there was no name team all along? That is one of the storylines we can follow. But I think, and this is really interesting, is this is where it separates out quite somewhat, is 9 to 16. And that is what I would consider, a successful run in RLCS, depending on who you are. But if you're 1st to 16th, you can consider yourself a serious Rocket League team. And GB, I'm not sure if you can just scroll down there for us a little bit. Just so we can see what the general consensus is Labosh, Team HSK, Communities got them swapped, but same, 51 and 50 on the ratings. And this is when it gets really, really close. Crystal Colon, Unity, Bear, there's no separating them. The only similarity that we, the casters, had was we had Unity somewhere in that 11th to 13th. They've got Bear and Crystal Colon. We didn't have them at all. Otherwise, WRG, Old School, and Double Data Rate, both seen by the community and the casters. So I think the only difference is Chrome is, edging out in the community vote. They seem to think they can crack that top 16. I would love to see it happen, but there are some very good teams here. I do think that we're going to be sitting here surprised. I think somebody I can see Team 10 doing a nice little deep run. Spanish Pop and Vos, not rated by the community, but rated very highly by the casters. So I think that come the end of all of this, there are going to be a couple of teams who are going to be like saying, thanks community for placing your trust in us, and screw those casters. And the casters going to be like, well, we try.
I have to raise an issue here just because I see one of the players is in chat. There is a team here called Project Zero. Now, Project Zero is made up of Dusk, Dawn Zero, and Moon. And they made the list only because I saw them in the Cash Cup. They beat Daps and Declan in that Cash Cup. They didn't qualify for top 12, but they looked really good. And then I've had a few DMs from a bunch of people who've said, who are these guys? Because we don't know them, but they are really, really good. And it raised a few flags, like, are they legit? They were certainly playing on low ping, so it wasn't like they were playing out of EU on, fake accounts or whatever. And then in fact, it was you, Bromeo, who raised that they're friends with someone I know in the local community. So I reached out to them and said, who are these guys? And from what I can tell from reading between the lines is that they are quote unquote known players, but playing under different names, and they don't want to identify themselves. It's very curious, and in my mind raises a few red flags, because it's like, why are you being so sketchy? But I see Dusk is in chat, and he responded to 5BS, who said, the old folk have, a bit tied in the bones, but we still got a bit of gas. And Dusk said, I agree. So I don't know I don't know. It's very curious, but I put them in that top 24 more out of curiosity than everything. And I don't know if Dusk in chat wants to respond to that, or if anybody knows who they are. But it's weird to me that they're being so cagey.
It's Greybeard. Greybeard is one of those. Definitely. I put him down as a Dawn Zero.
I'm Dusk.
His birthday there.
All I'm saying is, if they were top 16 contenders, we'd notice who they were because they were missing. And I'm not too concerned. I don't think that there are going to be any big explosions there. I think it was just a meme that went quite far, and now they're enjoying the traction they're getting out of it.
Absolutely. I have no doubt. The more we talk about it, the more it's a thing. And I'm okay. I can feed the trolls. All right, so there we go. Power ranking. The first power ranking pre-season. We will know in 2 weeks today how wrong we were, and we'll do a review on the podcast after the first open, just to see how good and or bad we were in terms of our power ranking. But that will wrap it up for that. And I think the only other things we've got to talk about are, I want to just see on my list, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I'll be doing a stream tomorrow night, because I started a little project to put together, and I'm going to call this up here. No, I wanted to do, this was mostly for the broadcast talent, to put together player cards of all the players, so that there's basic information that we can go and have a look at, to see who is who. And I want to complete this. It's quite a bit of work. So I think what I'm going to do is tomorrow night, I'm going to stream updating these player cards. And I want to stream it because I want to sort of get some curated information, because there are people in the community who can tell me information that might be missing or hard to get or whatever. So I'm hoping that will be a workable thing to do, and it's pretty cool. So here are all the players I've got, and you can literally click on a name and it'll take you and it'll show you where they're from, how old they are, when their birthday is, when they made their RLCS debut, how you say their name, which is very important to us casters, and then who their current and former teammates are. I'm trying to find one that's actually complete. Well, here we go. So we got Jeff, who's currently on Cosmico. And you can then click there and go to Ravi and see his information and so on. So I'd like to get that all complete and wrapped up. So tomorrow night at the same time, 7 o'clock, I'll be doing that. I hope a bunch of people will come and join me and help me get this little project completed. And gents, I think that about wraps it up for episode 1 of season 3, unless there are important things that have been missed.
I think there's just a thing to note is that the Underground League is going to continue into the off-season every single Tuesday, and that's in the RSC server. So if you do feel like still playing a little bit of Rocket League with the community, that will be running every Tuesday. I have signed up myself, so you will get demoed if you play, but it is going to be a lot of fun, so do not forget to sign up if you're around.
And just to reiterate, where do they go to sign up?
They go to the RSC Discord, and then they just scroll until they see something that reads UGL registration, and they just emote on the message there just to sign up. If you signed up for RSC and you played in RSC, it's simply clicking an emote, and you are signed up. That easy.
When can you sign up until?
You can sign up until like just an hour before tomorrow night. So I think it's up until like 6 o'clock tomorrow.
And Cedric, firstly, welcome to the chat, but asking, what have I missed? Oh my goodness gracious.
Everything.
This is a rough time to be asking what you've missed. You've missed a lot. All right, so we're going to wrap it up. And the only person who's live that we can raid is Yoshi, and I'm in two minds about raiding Yoshi because he was Mr. Involved doing all sorts of things, but he's been a ghost. But because
like 20 minutes, guys, 10 minutes. So if you want to come join me, then that'll be great.
Oh man, you should have surreptitiously gone live while we were. But Ultrasm on Twitch, go and follow. So go and watch Yoshi for a while, and then you can go and visit Ultrasm. But that's going to wrap it up. So I'll be live again tomorrow night. And then I will be live on Saturday and Sunday through all the qualifiers. Anyone who's streaming POV will be keeping tabs on that. So just getting a sense of how the qualifiers go and who's beating who makes it through to day 2.
Here's something before you go.
Yes.
Gentlemen, I will be at a Rocket League braai in Bloemfontein next weekend. If you consider yourself a Rocket League player or a Bloemfonteiner, I would love to see you. I know that plans are afoot, so get into my DMs. It's the Bromeo on Discord, and we can chat. So yeah, I'm going to be traveling all the way to Bloem for a brandy and coke, and maybe a game of 1v1 Rocket League. We will see.
Fabulous stuff, and good to see Ultrasm's cat's tail. That's going to wrap it up from us, from me, Greybeard, the Bromeo, and Ultrasm, and I shall see you all tomorrow night. Peace, bye.
Oh no,